Persian Gulf is currently a theater of fire, following a devastating Iranian missile strike that left an American tanker engulfed in flames in Iraqi waters. The red alert has been officially raised. This was the fatal mistake Tehran's enemies were waiting for. On the American aircraft carriers operating in the region, the response was not just immediate, it was surgical. Vertical launch cells on the escort ships swung open in a synchronized sequence, and Tomahawk cruise missiles began screaming off the decks, arcing toward the horizon to hunt down Iranian command centers. The execution protocol has been activated, and for the Iranian regime, the clock has just run out. The defensive perimeter making the weapons hot. Across the carrier and its escort vessels, the transition to full combat readiness was a symphony of steel. Soldiers and sailors surged to their defensive positions along the entire perimeter of the ships. Weapons lockers were thrown open, equipment distributed, and every station manned. Along the superstructure, elite sniper teams established nests on elevated platforms, their high-powered scopes tracking every ripple on the water or blip in the air. On the lower decks, the atmosphere was electric with the sound of preparation. Gun crews fed heavy ammunition belts into ship-mounted machine guns. The mechanical clack of charging handles being pulled back echoed across the steel as weapons were made hot. Soldiers carrying shoulder-fired anti-aircraft missile systems scaled to the upper decks, creating a dome of protection over the fleet. To ensure the systems were ready for the coming Iranian drone swarms, gunners unleashed test bursts, short, controlled fires into the clear water. As brass casings rattled across the deck plates, every weapon in the formation was confirmed operational. The strike group is no longer waiting. It is hunting. The air wing clearing the corridor below the flight deck, the technical heart of the U.S. Air Force and Navy was beating at a fever pitch. Mechanics finalized inspections. Missiles were mounted to pylons, fuel tanks topped off, and avionics greenlit. The first to break the silence was an AV-8B Harrier II. The pilot taxied to the runway, increased engine power until the deck vibrated, and took off horizontally, transitioning instantly into level flight as it gained altitude to scout the coastal batteries. Immediately behind the Harrier, the FA-18 Super Hornets began their violent launch sequence. Hooked to the catapults, they ran up to full power and shot off the bow one after another. Their mission is divided into three lethal objectives. First, intercept and destroy any incoming missiles targeting the carrier group. Second, establish total air superiority along the corridor to ensure safe passage for the ground forces. Third, strike every Iranian military installation, radar site, and missile launcher that poses a threat to the coalition. The strategic shift, the 7 trillion rebellion. But while the smoke arises over the Persian Gulf, a more profound shift is happening in the global power structure. As U.S. forces secure the physical terrain, a new 7 trillion variable geometry alliance is moving to secure the future. Led by figures like Mark Carney and supported by nations like Canada and Australia, this coalition of middle powers is building an economic war chest that functions without America's permission. They are weaponizing 40% of the world's iron ore and a third of its lithium to create a strategic reserve that sidelined the old US-dominated order. While the US military executes the war on the ground, our closest allies are rewiring the global economy. Tehran may be the target of the missiles, but the silent rebellion of the $7 trillion alliance is the real threat to the status quo.